turn now to our discussion about the party conferences and what we took away from them and whether they moved our dial at all. Gary has called from Alton. What would you like to say?
Everybody's heard the rhetoric by now. Nigel Farage, Reform UK, the endless claims that Britain is being invaded, that the country is disappearing, that ordinary people are somehow becoming strangers in their own homeland. It's the same emotionally charged narrative repeated again and again across television, radio, and social media. But here's the real question nobody ever asks. What actually happens when someone who genuinely believes all of that is confronted with basic facts, direct questions, and reality itself? Because it's easy to repeat slogans. It's easy to blame immigrants for every problem in society. It's easy to fuel fear and outrage. But the moment you start digging deeper, the moment someone is asked to explain exactly what rights they've lost or what freedoms have supposedly been taken away, the argument suddenly starts falling apart very quickly. And that's exactly what happened during this unbelievable LBC call. A Reform supporter phoned in, completely convinced that Britain is being taken over. Completely convinced Nigel Farage is telling the truth, and completely convinced his culture is disappearing. But within minutes, the cracks in that entire worldview started showing in real time for everyone listening. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Because what you're about to hear is one of the clearest examples yet of what happens when political fear-mongering collides headfirst with facts, logic, and simple common sense. Now let's watch this together, and afterwards, I'll break down exactly why this conversation was so revealing.
Turn now to our discussion about the party conferences and what we took away from them and whether they moved our dial at all. Gary has called from Alton. What would you like to say?
Yeah, it's, well, I was going to say, the reason why I voted Reform, and I'm a Reform member now, is because I just want my country back, and I think Reform are going to win, if you want me to say that. The reason why that is because I'm losing my culture, and my child at school is being intimidated by people in the sense of he's losing his identity, it feels like, and we just feel lost in the system.
What is it that you want to do that expresses your culture that you are currently unable to do?
I'm not be able to fly my flags in the garden and things.
You can fly your flag in the garden.
Not really. The council told me to put it down
in your garden.
Because I had two at the back, but the one at the front was quite a big one, and they're saying that's not allowed. I mean, it's not big. I mean, it's bigger than two windows, but
right.
At the end of the day, look, I'm not a racist, but I do because I go get takeaways and that. And I speak to people in the shops. I'm not racist, but at the end of the day, I just feel that we've been pushed out our own people, and it needs, Nigel Farage sounds like he knows what he's doing.
Okay, other than, I'm really intrigued by this, other than flying a flag that the council deemed to be inappropriately large, how else do you feel that you are not allowed to express your culture right now?
We're not allowed to, in the sense of we're not allowed to, we just feel like the churches and things are being over by the mosque. We feel that we are actually.
Do you go to church every Sunday?
I do sometimes, but the thing is, at the moment, we just feel that everything is being stopped or pushed around us. We can't actually. But you can
go to church, can't you? Because you said that you do go to church sometimes, so you have that option.
But like I said, at the end of the day, I feel the money even in our pockets, jobs and stuff, benefits are being pushed tightened because of this. They're coming in. He said, Nigel Farage said invasion. He used the word invasion.
Yes, he did, and that's very incendiary language. But you know that the majority of people who choose to come to this country, they contribute more than they take out. The majority of people who come here as immigrants work and consistently in studies have been shown to contribute more than they take.
Nigel Farage says that they are taking our jobs, and they are going to, if we keep letting it happen, there's 79 million in this country. We're going to be overrun, and there's going to be no more, even the conservative white faces left.
Well, I mean, if immigration continues at its current rate, the most liberal projections, so that the most exaggerated projections say that by 2060 there may be 10 million Muslim people who live in this country in a population of almost 80 million. So that's still only 1 in 8 people. There would still be plenty of white Christian faces amongst the 7 in 8.
Right, well, I don't know about that, but I mean, on the TV it sounds like we are being overrun for what he's saying. He's a good talker, he knows what he's talking about in the sense of he's one of us, and he's a normal person, if you know what I mean. He's not like
Nigel Farage earned £1 million last year alone through second jobs on top of his MP job. Do you think that makes him a normal person?
Well, he didn't go to Eton, did he? He didn't go to Eton like.
No, he went to Durham, which not Durham. He went to Dulwich College, which is a little bit like Eton, but not quite as posh, but only one echelon down. It's certainly not a bog standard comp.
You wouldn't see Nigel Farage like Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer doesn't seem to be doing anything, does he? To be fair.
I'm not Keir Starmer's biggest fan. But I don't think that Nigel Farage would be better for this country. I think it's very easy for him to promise things. He promised, didn't he, that if we Brexited, immigration would go down, whereas actually it has increased. And it also took us out of the Dublin Convention, which meant that we couldn't send the boats that are coming across the Channel. We did have a reciprocal agreement before Brexit, which meant that we were able to send those boats back to France. But we lost that because of Brexit. So because of something that Nigel Farage was a key architect of, we have seen immigration increase. So that doesn't give me a lot of faith in anything that he says, really.
I mean, you sound a lot smarter than me. I mean, I'm not clever like you, but at the end of the day, I just know that facts is facts, and if somebody's talking away, Farage does, and Lee Evans, what's his name, Lee from Ashfield. He sounds
Lee
like
Anderson.
He's a normal person. It's one of it. You know what I mean? He just sounds like somebody who's struggling and somebody that wants to get on the ladder, and everyone else is being pushed away from other people coming in and stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go at everyone.
No, I know you're not. I think maybe there's a thing about accents here. I mean, I went to state school. I came from a low income family. I feel like as a woman, a working class woman, I've had to work pretty hard to get where I am today, and I really don't have an agenda other than wanting things to be better and more equal for everyone. So all I would ask you, Gary, is just to have a think about some of the things that I have said today.
No, I will do. I mean, again, I can see you're a woman of colour, aren't you? So if Farage did get in, then that could be a problem for you as well, I guess.
Yeah, for me and my family, but it's not just about me. It's about the fact that I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm not paid by anyone. I don't go to dinners with lobbyists or accept bribes from the Kremlin like former members of the Reform Party have been proven to do. I just want things to be better for everyone, and I promise you that is absolutely true. So Gary, thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you for your call.
Wow. Natasha absolutely dismantled those arguments, piece by piece. And what made it so effective was how calm and direct she was. She didn't yell at the caller or mock him. She simply asked basic questions. When he claimed he was losing his culture, she asked him one simple thing: what exactly are you unable to do? And that's where the entire argument started falling apart. His examples were weak. A dispute over a giant flag outside his house. A vague feeling about churches disappearing, even though he admitted he still goes to church. The more specific the conversation became, the less convincing the argument sounded. Then Natasha completely shattered the image of Nigel Farage as some ordinary man of the people. The caller described Farage as one of us, and she reminded him that Farage earned huge amounts of money and went to elite private schools. That relatable pubman image is carefully crafted political branding. And then came the Brexit contradiction. Farage promised immigration would fall after Brexit, but immigration actually increased. On top of that, Brexit removed agreements that made returning migrants to Europe easier. So the very movement, claiming to take back control, helped create some of the problems they now complain about. The most revealing moment came when the caller finally admitted, "You sound smarter than me." Because underneath all the anger and slogans, what you really heard was frustration and confusion. People feel left behind, and politicians like Farage channel that frustration toward immigrants and culture wars instead of real economic solutions. But the sad reality is, even after hearing all those facts, the caller will probably still believe Farage is right. That's because modern politics is emotional. People want someone who makes them feel heard, even if the promises never actually improve their lives. And that's why this call mattered so much. Natasha didn't destroy the argument with outrage. She destroyed it with calm questions, facts, and basic logic.